Hey everyone, this is my first time making a video, so if I make a mistake, so bear with it and give me a feedback. So here I am showcasing my project. In this, it is a simple particle animation that is completely interactive. By moving the mouse, the particles react with the position to a certain radius relative to the mouse position. So it also have different features like by closing towards the particles decreases their size, and when we go away from the particles, it increases their size. And by pressing the up arrow key, you can increase the interactive area, and by pressing the down arrow key, you can decrease the interactive area. And it is also can be resizable. By resizing, it will regenerate all the particles to fill the whole area resized window. So I'll showcasing how to build this using HTML5 canvas and mostly JavaScript. First we will start with the basic setup. Here's first of all we write the code for HTML. Here you can using the shortcut or snippets. I here created the HTML file, and afterwards we will connect the write the CSS and connect the JavaScript file. So here is the CSS. In the body we set margin to 0 and overflow to hidden, and margin to 0 to remove default margin, and overflow to hidden hides scroll bar. And in the canvas CSS we set display to block to remove any gaps around the canvas. And in the body, inside the body tag, we created canvas tag where all the magic happens, and connected the JavaScript file where we will write the JavaScript code. So let's move on to the JavaScript file. And I'm using the live preview extension to showcasing the result that we are creating. So here it shows the result, so we don't have to move between VS Code and browser. So now let's move on to the JavaScript file. And here first of all we will set up the canvas. So I write the comments here, so it will be easy for me to explain. So here first of all we create a canvas variable that will select the canvas that is on the canvas tag that is in the HTML file, and we set the canvas width and height to the window's height and width. And here we set ctx to canvas dot get context to get the drawing context. Here ctx will help us to draw like shapes like circles. And now let's create particles. Now to create particles on the screen, first of all we will make a class for particle to display on it. So each particle will be a small circle. So we will write a particle class. The class creates a circle for each particles. And here is the particle class. So here in the constructor function we will pass on the arguments that will be required. And here I write the comments. So x position for the particles, y position for the particles, default radius, and it is the basic code to draw any shape on the canvas. Here begin path, so it will draw a new path, and arc to draw a circle. Here we pass, and it is here this dot radius. It is necessary to use 0 and math.pi into 2 because it will start from 0 and go full around 360. So that's why. And here we will write ctx.fill style to white to set the color of the particle to white, and it's ctx.fill to fill that particle with fill style color. Now let's create the grid of these particles. Here's the code for particles to create the grid of the particles, so you can understand it. So I write the comments for. So here we create the particles array to store all the particles, and in the create particles functions we will start from row, column, and we will push each new particles with xy positions and store them into the particles array. And here we will call the create particles functions, and here we will call particle.draw for each particles present in the particles array. But I think there is something I missed, so here we have to now here. So we created this thing first, but it is not responsive. As you can see, it is displayed, it is created once, and it is not that much responsive that it will generate according to that. Now we will set up the animation process. To animate the particles, we will use request animation frame. This draws the canvas repeatedly and creating smooth animation. Here is the code. So this continuously clears and redraws the canvas so the particles stay animated. Here we calls the request animation frame and pass on the animate functions in it. So it calls itself to create a loop and ctx.clear rect to clear the canvas. So here the argument we passes are 0, 0 canvas width. What is first positions are the axis of the starting position and ending axes. So from where we have to start clear and up to till we have to clear. So here is the top left corner is the 0, 0, and here bottom right corner is the canvas width and canvas height, and here particles dot for each. In this it will call particle.draw function for each particle object we created and is stored in the particles class. And here at last we call the animate function, but as you can see it is still not responsive. So we will write more code to make it much more animated or interactive. So to make it responsive so that the particles will recreate if we resize the window. So for that here is the code. So here we call an event listener. Here if the window is resized, it call these functions and update the canvas size, and here we set again particles dot is equal to clears particles array, and it will call the create particles again. So now it is responsive. As you can see, if we resize the window, it is still creating the particles. There is no blank space. So now we will add interactivity to these particles so they react with the mouse. So first of all we will access the mouse positions, and afterwards we will add the interactivity according to the mouse. So now first of all we will access the mouse position. So here is the code for accessing the mouse position. So first of all I created a mouse object and set the x and y to width at the center of the canvas. So it is because if we are not if mouse pointer is not in the canvas, so it will not go away, or it will remain first at the center of the canvas. And here I call the event lister mouse move. It will update the mouse.x and mouse.y positions and it do okay. So now we will update the particles class so the particles interact with the mouse position. class particle. These are the changes. So first of all, we created a variable mouse radius and min radius in the constructor function, the minimum size the particles can have. And here we created a update functions. This is calling draw function, and here the distance, we are finding the distance between the two positions as they are circles. So we are using the basic math formula, square root of x1 minus x2 whole square plus y1 minus y2 whole square. And here we are checking if the particle is in the mouse radius, so it is going to decrease its size by 0.5, and it is away from the particle, so it is going to increase size by 0.1 till 5 maximum size. And afterwards it is still not working, so to make it work we have to call update function instead of draw function. Now, as you can see, now it is working, and you with these values 0.1 and increasing to make animation. If I make it 0.1 decreasing animation and make it 5, it is going to create some section, but it is still not. So let's, 1 is the best, so it is still not that much cool, so we are going to make it 0.5 only. Now it is nice. Now we can create it just like this. Okay. Now the last thing remaining is the functionality to increase the interactive area or mouse radius. So now we will write the code for that. Now here is the last part of the code we have to do. So here we are again calling an event lister if the key down, and if key down is pressed, the function will call. If the event dot key is arrow up, we will going to increase the radius by 1, and else if we are pressing down arrow key, it is going to decrease the size by 1, but it is till the 1. It is going to decrease it till 1. Afterward it is not going to decrease. So here is the implementation. Now we will see the final product. So here it is, and you can play with the mouse radius and min radius. You can make different things, like if I do this, maybe it is going to, as you can see, it has created a different type of animation. You can play with these themes to make different types of animations. And this is my first video, so bear with it. I don't think so it is good, but please give your feedback and like if you liked the video, and please comment what should I improve. And thanks for watching. To try it immediately, you can visit this site. Here you can immediately try it. I will paste the link in the description. Bye.